Hi friends, let's start next portion of electricity. A schematic diagram of an electric circuit comprising cell, electric bulb, ammeter and plug key. Example 12.1. A current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. We are given I is equal to 0.5 ampere, T is equal to 10 minute is equal to 600 second. From equation 12.1 we have Q is equal to IT. I is equal to 0.5 ampere and T is equal to 600 second is equal to 300 second. Questions: what does an electric circuit mean? Define the unit of current. Calculate the number of electrons constituting 1 coulomb of charge. More to know. Flow of charges inside a wire. How does a metal conduct electricity? You would like You would think that a low energy electron would have a great difficulty passing through a solid conductor. Inside the solid, the atoms are picked together with very little spacing between them. But it turns out that the electrons are able to travel through a perfect solid crystal smoothly and easily, almost as if they were in a vacuum. The motion of electrons in a conductor, however, is very different from that of charges in empty space. When a steady current flows through a conductor, the electrons in it move with a certain average drift speed. One can calculate this drift speed of electrons for a typical copper wire carrying a small current, and it is found to be actually very small, of the order of a 1 millimeter per second. How is it then that electric bulb lights up as soon as we turn the switch on? It cannot be that a current starts only when an electron from one terminal of the electric supply physically reaches the other terminal through the bulb, because the physical drift of electrons in the conducting wires is a very slow process. The exact mechanism of the current flow, which takes place with a speed of close to the speed of light, is fascinating, but it is beyond the scope of this book. Do you feel like probing this question at an advanced level? Next topic: electric potential and potential difference. What makes electric charge to flow? Let us consider the analogy of flow of charge. Charges do not flow in a copper wire by themselves, just as water in a perfectly horizontal tube does not flow if one end of the tube is connected to a tank of water kept at a higher level such that there is a pressure difference between the two ends of the tube. Water flows out of the other end of the tube for flow of charges in a conducting metallic wire. The gravity, of course, has no role to play. If electrons move only if there is a difference of electric pressure called the potential difference along the conductor. This difference of potential may be produced by a battery consisting of one or more electric cells. The chemical action within a cell generates the potential difference across the terminals of the cell even when no current is drawn from it. When the cell is connected to a conducting wire element, the potential difference sets the charges in motion in the conductor and produces an electric current. In order to maintain the current in a given electric circuit, the cell has to spend its chemical energy stored in it. We define the electric potential difference between two points in an electric circuit carrying some current as the work done to move a unit charge from one point to other. Potential difference V between 2 points is equal to work done by charge Q. V is equal to W by Q. The SI unit of electric potential difference is volt V, named after Alessandro Volta, 1745 to 1827, an Italian physicist. 1 volt is the potential difference between 2 points in a current carrying conductor when 1 joule of work done to move a charge of 1 coulomb from one point to other. Therefore, 1 volt is equal to 1 joule by 1 coulomb is equal to 1 volt is equal to 1 joule per coulomb. The potential difference is measured by means of an instrument is called the voltmeter. The voltmeter is always connected in parallel across the points between the potential difference is to be measured. Example 12.2. How much work is done in moving a charge of 2 coulomb across 2 points having a potential difference 12 volt. Solution. The amount of charge Q that flows between two points at potential difference V is equal to 12 volt is 2 coulomb. Thus, the amount of work W done in moving the charge from equation 12.2 is work is equal to VQ. V is equal to 12 volt and Q is equal to 2 coulomb is equal to 24 joule. Questions. Name a device that helps to maintain a potential difference across a conductor. What is meant by saying that the potential difference between 2 points is 1 volt? How much energy is given to each coulomb of charge passing through a 6 battery? Next topic, circuit diagram. We know that an electric circuit as shown in figure 12.1 comprises a cell or a battery, a plug key, electrical components S and connecting wires. It is often convenient to draw a schematic diagram in which different components of the circuit are represented by the symbols conveniently used. Conveniential symbols used to represent some of the most commonly used electrical components are given in table 12.1. Symbols of some commonly used components in a circuit diagrams. Component symbols: an electric cell, a battery or a combination of cells, plug key or switch open, plug key or switch closed, plug key or switched closed, a wire joint, wire crossing without joining, electric bulb, a resistor of resistance R, variable resistance or rheostat, ammeter, voltmeter. Next topic, Ohm's law. Is there a relationship between the potential difference across a conductor and the current through it? Let us explore with an activity 12.1. Set up a circuit as shown in figure 12.2 consisting of a nichrome wire XY of length say 0.5 meter, an ammeter, a voltmeter and 4 cells of 1.5 volt each. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron metals. First, use only one cell as the source in the circuit. Note the reading in the ammeter I for the current and reading the voltmeter V for the potential difference across the nichrome wire XY in the circuit. Tabulate them in the table given. Next, connect two cells in the circuit and note the respective readings of the ammeter and voltmeter for the values of current through the nichrome wire and potential difference across the nichrome wire. Repeat the above steps using 3 cells and then 4 cells in the circuit separately. Calculate the ratio of V to I for each pair of potential difference V and current I. Plot a graph between V and I and observe the nature of graph. Potential difference V and current A. In this activity, you will find that approximately the same value. In this activity, you will find that approximately the same value for V by I is obtained in each case. Thus, the VI graph is a straight line that passes through the origin of the graph as shown in figure 12.3. Thus, V by I is a constant ratio. In 1827, a German physicist George Simon Ohm 1787 to 1854 found out the relationship between the current I flowing in a metallic wire and the potential difference across its terminals. The potential difference V across ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the following through it, provided its temperature remains the same. This is called Ohm's law. In other words, V directly proportional to I, or V by I is equal to constant is equal to R. In equation 12.4, R is a constant for the given metallic wire at a given temperature and is called its resistance. It is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it. Its SI unit is ohm, represented by the Greek letter ohm. According to Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I. If the potential difference across two ends of a conductor is 1 volt and the current through it is a 1 ampere, then the resistance R of the conductor is 1 ohm. That is 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt by 1 ampere. Also from equation 12.5 we get I is equal to V by R. It is obvious from equation 12.7 that the current through a resistor is inversely proportional to its resistance. If the resistance is double, the current gets half. In many practical cases, it is necessary to increase or decrease the current in an electric circuit. A component used to regulate current without changing the voltage source is called variable resistance. In an electric circuit, a device called rheostat is often used to change the resistance in the circuit. We will now study about electrical resistance of a conductor with the help of the following activity. Take a nichrome wire, a torch bulb, a 10-watt bulb, and ammeter 0 to 5 ampere range, a plug key, and some connecting wires. Set up the circuit by connecting 4 dry cells of 1.5 volt each in series with the ammeter, leaving a gap XY in the circuit as shown in figure 12.4. Nichrome wire, 10-watt bulb, torch bulb. Complete the circuit by connecting the nichrome wire in the gap XY. Plug the key. Note down the meter reading. Take out the key from the plug. Note: always take out the key from the plug after measuring the current through the circuit. Replace the nichrome wire with the torch bulb in the circuit. Find the current through it by measuring the reading of the meter. Now repeat the above step with the 10-watt bulb in the gap XY. Are the ammeter reading differ for different components connected in the gap XY? What do the above observation indicate? You may repeat this activity by keeping any material component in the gap. Observe ammeter readings in each case. Analyze the observations. In this activity, we observe that the current is different for different components. Why do they differ? Certain components offer an easy path for the flow of electric current, while the others resist the flow. We know we know that motion of the electrons in electric circuit constitutes an electric current. The electrons, however, are not completely free to move within a conductor. They are restrained by the attraction of the atoms among which they move. Thus, motion of electrons through a conductor is retarded by its resistance. A component of a given size that offers a low resistance is a good conductor. A conductor having some appreciable resistance is called a resistor. A component of identical size that offers a higher resistance is a poor conductor. An insulator of the same size offers even higher resistance. Next topic, factors on which the resistance of a conductor depends. Complete an electric circuit consisting of a cell, an ammeter, a nichrome wire of length L, say mark 1, and plug key as shown in figure 12.5. Electric circuit to study the factors on which the resistance of conducting wire depends. Now plug the key, note the current in the ammeter. Replace the nichrome wire by another nichrome wire of same thickness but twice the length, that is 2L, mark 2 in this figure 12.5. Note the ammeter is reading. Now place the wire by a thicker nichrome wire of the same length L, mark 3. A thicker wire has a large cross-sectional area. Again, note down the current through the circuit. Instead of taking a nichrome wire, connect a copper wire, mark 4 in figure 12.5, in the circuit. Let the wire be of the same length and same area of cross section as that of the first nichrome wire, mark 1. Note the value of the current. Notice the difference in the current in all the cases. Does the current depend on the length of the conductor? Does the current depend on the area cross section of the wire used? It is observed that the ammeter reading decreases to 1/2 when the length of the wire is doubled. The ammeter reading is increased when a thicker wire of the same material and of the same length is used in the circuit. A change in ammeter reading is observed when a wire of different material of the same length and the same area of cross section is used. On applying Ohm's law, we observe that the resistance of the conductor depends I first on its length and second on its area of cross section and third on the nature of its material. Price measurement have shown in the resistance of a uniform metallic conductor is directly proportional to its length L inversely proportional to the area of cross section A, that is R directly proportional to L. R is directly proportional to L by A. Combining equation 12.8 and 12.9, R is equal to L by A. R is equal to rho L by A, where rho is constant of proportionality and is called the electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. The SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. It is a characteristic property of material. The metals and alloys have very low resistivity in the range of 12.8 ohm meter to 12.6 ohm meter. They are good conductors of electricity. Insulators like rubber and glass have resistivity of the order of 10 to the power 12 to 10 to the power 17 ohm meter. Both the resistance and resistivity of a material vary with the temperature. Table 12.2 reveals that the resistivity of an alloy is generally higher than that of its constituent metals. Alloys do not oxidize, burn readily at high temperatures. For this reason, they are commonly used in electrical heating devices like electric iron, toasters, etc. Tungsten is used almost exclusively for filaments of electric bulbs, whereas copper and aluminum are generally used for electrical transmission lines. Table 12.2 Electrical resistivity of some substance at 20 degrees Celsius. Conductor materials resistivity ohm meter. First conductor silver resistivity 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8. Second copper resistivity 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 8. Third aluminum 2.63 into 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. Tungsten 5.20 into 10 to the power minus 8. Nickel 6.84 into 10 to the power minus 8. Iron 10.0 into 10 to the power minus 8. Chromium 12.9 into 10 to the power minus 8. Mercury 94.0 into 10 to the power minus 8. Manganese 1.84 into 10 to the power minus 6. Alloys Constantine 49 into 10 to the power minus 6. Manganese 44 into 10 to the power minus 6. Alloy of copper Mn and Ni. Nichrome alloy of Ni, chromium, Mn and Fe 100 into 10 to the power minus 6. Insulators glass 10 to the power minus 10 to the power 10 into 10 to the power 14. Hard rubber 10 to the power 13 into 10 to the power 13 to 10 to the power 16. Ebonite 10 to the power 15 to 10 to the power 17. Diamond 10 to the power 12 to 10 to the power 13 ohm meter. Vapor dry 10 to the power 12 ohm meter. You need not memorize these values. You can use these values for solving numerical problems. Example 12.3. How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohm? How much current Wind an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the heater coil is 100 ohm. We are given volt 220 volt, R is equal to 4, R is equal to 1200 ohm. From equation 12.6 we have the current I 220 volt by 1200 ohm is equal to 0.18 ammeter. We are given V is equal to 220 volt, R is equal to 100 ohm. From equation 12.6 we have the current I is equal to 1220 volt by 100 ohm is equal to 2.2 ammeter. Note the difference of the current drawn by electric bulb and electric heater from the same 220 volt source. Example 12.4. The potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volt when it draws a current of 4 ampere from the source. What current will the heater draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? Solution. We are given potential difference V is equal to 60 volt, current is equal to 4 ampere. According to Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I is equal to 60 volt by 4 ampere is equal to 15 ohm. When the potential difference is increased to 120 volt, the current is given by current is equal to V by R is equal to 120 volt by 15 ohm is equal to 8 ampere. The current through the heater becomes 8 ampere. Example 12.5. Resistance of a metal wire of length 1 meter is 26 ohm at 20 degrees Celsius. If the diameter of the wire is 0.3 millimeter, what will be the resistivity of the metal at the temperature? Using table point 2, predict the material of the wire. Solution. We are given the resistance R of the wire is equal to 26 ohm. The diameter D is equal to 0.3 millimeter is equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter, and the length L of the wire 1 meter. Therefore, from equation 12.10, the resistivity of the given metallic wire is rho is equal to Ra by L is equal to rho pi d square by 4L. Substitution of values in this gives rho is equal to 1.84 into 10 to the power minus 6 ohm meter. The resistivity of the metal at 20 degrees Celsius is 1.84 into 10 to the power minus 6 ohm meter. From table 12.2 we see that this is the resistivity of manganese. Example 12.6. A wire of given material having length L and area cross section A has a resistance of 4 ohm. What would be the resistance of another wire of the same material having length L by 2 and area of cross section 2 ampere? Solution. For first wire, R1 is equal to rho into L by A is equal to 4 ohm. Now for second wire, R2, rho L by 2 by 2A is equal to 1 by 4 rho L by A. R2 1 by 4 R1. R2 is equal to 1 ohm. The resistance of the new wire is 1 ohm. Questions. On what factors does the resistance of a conductor depend? Will current flow more easily through a thick wire or a thin wire of the same material when connected to the same source. Why? Let the resistance of an electrical component remain constant while the potential difference across the two ends of the component decreases to half of its former value. What change will occur in the current through it? Why are coils of electric toaster and the electric irons made of an alloy rather than a pure metal? Use the data in table 12.2 to answer the following. Which among iron and mercury is a better conductor? Which material is the best conductor? थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स। अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आता है तो आप लोग लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें। थैंक यू सो मच।